Hey guys, welcome to an interesting video on Wild Rift. So today we're back with a Zeri commentary guide, and we've been doing a lot of Zeri guides lately, obviously because she's the newest champion, and I have tested out like 100 different builds on Zeri at this point, and there have been so many builds, but we finally settled on the build that I like the most, which I of course covered in my complete guide less than a week ago. And now we're gonna cover just going different summoner spells. So we've iterated through the builds. Now we are talking about summoner spells. So personally, I feel that in this current meta, you have to take exhaust. So if you want to take ghost, you have to give up flash, because the reason is, if you don't have exhaust, every other ADC has exhaust, and if you don't have exhaust, you're gonna lose every 1v1 to any other ADC that has exhaust, because they're just gonna exhaust you. You cannot exhaust them, and you basically just lose. Aside from that, there's also of course a lot of backline divers and assassins. In this particular game, not too bad. Maybe the Yasuo at worst, but there generally is always some kind of backline diver or assassin that you have to exhaust. So exhaust is actually a must. So instead we're gonna trade our flash for ghost instead, and let me explain to you guys about when this is a good idea. Now generally you only want to do this when you have things you don't want to flash away from. So now this game is not like the best game to demonstrate that, because you can flash away from like a thresh hook, or maybe like a Jin's ult, or like Jin's W for example. But the main thing you can flash away from here is like the thresh hook and the Yasuo tornado. But in my opinion, I still think it's a pretty good game to take ghost. So I still think that that's fine. So anyways here, but even so, of course, we're in the laning phase now, and we're up against a Jhin and a Thresh, and the two of them are a very strong lane. We're a Zeri as well as a Lulu, and because of that we have to of course play safe, and we cannot really do anything too aggressive. Yep, so basically the main trade-off between Ghost and Flash is, some people might actually think it's troll to take Ghost instead of Flash, but I'm going to explain to you guys why it's not. It's rather what I really wanted to explain. So, Flash gives you an instantaneous reposition that has like 0 cast time, allows you to get over walls easily, and that's the main pro of Flash. However, Flash has a very long cooldown. The main advantage of taking Ghost over Flash is, number one, Ghost has a much shorter cooldown, so you can use it a lot more often. But of course, it's not an instantaneous blink unlike Flash. So what's the main reason why Ghost is good? Well, basically it's because it is basically amazing, especially in team fights, for you to weave left, right, in and out to dodge abilities. And also, much like Zeri's ultimate, you get a reset whenever you get a takedown, and this can allow your Ghost to last for very long. So this is really good for fights where basically you need to run away, you need to chase people down, or you need to just you know, have extra movement speed to dodge skill shots. It's basically more or less good in like every single scenario. Not every single scenario, but it's good in majority of scenarios. So in games that you can afford it, you should try to avoid taking Flash and go for Ghost instead. And here you can see the Karma comes in for the surprise gank, and we are able to get the kill onto Thresh. Yasuo tries to come in, we dash away from him. The Lulu out for the knockup onto Karma, and here Yasuo decides to keep on chasing. I'm gonna walk past the wind wall, and then I'm gonna proceed on to just blast him. Karma picks up another kill. Jhin comes in with the 4th shot on Lulu, and we are eventually able to trade the kill onto the Jhin. So overall, positive 3-for-1 trade in the bot lane. And in this fight, you can see that I was actually using the Ghost this whole time. Not sure if you guys noticed, but this allowed me to, like, you know, run around and sort of like help me out in the general fight. So that's why I think Ghost is pretty useful. But again, you only want to take Ghost in matches where you either, number one, are very confident of not getting hit by skill shots, or number two, there isn't actually any skill shots to actually dodge. In this match, as I mentioned again, I think Ghost does help against Jhin, because you can always Ghost to avoid his W and his ultimate. Whereas the main problem here is like Thresh and Yasuo. Yasuo, I think, is a lot more predictable, because Yasuo's wind wall, he has to charge it up, and you sort of know when he's you know, gonna go for it. But the main thing is Thresh hook here. So in this game, I'm sort of just relying on the fact that I can, you know, just dodge thresh hooks. So here they super overcommit onto Lulu. Lulu survives. I dodge thresh hook as I mentioned, and I go over the wall with the ulti. And here we have basically a not really a 1v1 because Lulu came in to help at the end, but we had for a little while a semi 1v1 between me and Jin. Lulu came in with the shield as well as with picks to of course help me secure that kill onto the Jin. Jin with the crying emote, and here we're just gonna clear the wave quickly. We end up missing 2 last hits. We're just gonna clear the wave quickly, and then we can back and buy items. Of course, the item build we're going for is the same one. So here you can see, here Yasuo is on the chase. Here I popped the ghost. Now I don't think Lulu actually needed to use everything on me. If anything, she probably should have used it on herself. But here, I'm just gonna hop the wall using my E, and you know, we're all good. So another useful part about Ghost is like when you see someone coming in for a gank and you're a little bit overextended, Flash is going to help you reposition instantly, but Ghost is going to help you put more distance between you and the person over like the next 2 seconds or 3 seconds or so. So that's another one of the reasons why I like Ghost. I mean, this whole video is more or less talking about Ghost because I've already talked about Zeri pretty extensively, so I don't really think we need to discuss Zeri too much. Now, despite us pretty much dominating this lane, I'm 3-0 and 2 at the moment. The Jin is still getting very good push in on the tower, and my tower is almost dead, mostly because obviously we still have to reset, and Jin does a lot of tower damage. So we are still kind of, you know, not really in the best spot in terms of tower damage, but all we're trying to do is prevent him from getting the first tower of the game. If we can, so that we can get that for ourselves, or our team can hopefully get that for us. Rather, we do have the Herald in Master Yi's pocket, and hopefully he can use that so that perhaps Herald top or something like that, and you know, get ourselves the tower. So here, the enemy team, enemy bot lane has backed, and we're just gonna push down this lane here. Our team picks up a double kill in the middle lane, and now Jin is actually back. Thresh hits the hook onto Lulu, flays her into the tower, and here enemy team looks like they want to go in for a chase. Here I ulti to of course increase my damage onto the two of them. Look at this damage coming out from me. End up killing the Jin and almost killing the Thresh. I try to shoot through the minions to get the chain onto Thresh, but he ends up living on 1 HP. Either way, it's fine. Because we did have our intended effect of basically removing them from the lane, and we actually end up getting the tower ourselves. Of course, our team has already secured mid tower with the help of the Herald, so our team ends up getting, you know, both of the towers. Unfortunately though, Lulu kind of gets caught out by the Graves on the recall, and I cancel my recall to help her out. Since we're, you know, okay now I'm gonna actually recall myself together with the Lulu, and we're gonna go back and buy items. So here, obviously, we have the Triforce, then we go into the Vam sector, boots, and of course now building towards Rune's Hurricane. You know, we went through the build in the previous Zeri video, so don't really have to go through that too much now. Here, Karma basically comes in for another gank. I shoot my W through the wall, ulti, and Thresh is already dead. Karma picks up the double, and yeah, it's basically another really good fight. Didn't really even have to do very much there. And yeah, so again, we're just going to clear the wave. Usual ADC stuff. Remembering to maintain the high amounts of farm. And now we're going to rotate over to mid now that we have pushed in bot and we also have secured the tower. Nothing too much to do here anymore. And so now, in the meanwhile, here we spot out the Yasuo. Here I make a pretty stupid mistake because I dashed in, I didn't know Thresh was there. Didn't actually see him, and I basically end up just getting straight up destroyed. Kind of got a little bit overconfident there, so that was a pretty bad move. End up baiting the Wukong to go in. Wukong dies, and Lulu, who's obviously still in the area, also dies. So kind of a complete disaster what happened right there. And yeah, I thought that after they killed Karma, Yasuo would have used everything already, which he kind of did. But I just didn't expect the Thresh to be there, so I end up dashing straight into the Thresh's face. You know, get hooked and just instantly just died right there. So that's kind of unfortunate. But yeah, can't do too much about it. It's already happened. However, the enemy team is overextending, and because of that, Master Yi and Karma are chasing them down. Here I am chasing them down together with them. Coming in with the ulti, trying to stop that Thresh. Master Yi attacking the minions instead of the Thresh. Not a good look. And here I'm just gonna blast the Garen, who somehow has GA as his like second item. But anyway, we're gonna blast him down, remove his GA, and we're just gonna finish him off afterwards because our whole team is here, nothing he can do to stop us. So now Herald is up, so we're gonna rotate over and try to get the Herald. Yasuo goes mad, flashes in, Master Yi actually ends up dying. But here he's gonna trade for Yasuo, we end up getting the shutdown onto the Yasuo, and the Herald is still alive, so we're trying to secure the Herald. Jin coming in with the ulti, Thresh comes in with the hook, and I'm able to use my Q to secure the Herald, and me and Lulu are going to just quickly get out of there. With the Herald recall, I can just recall right here, and get back to base, in a couple seconds, and get myself the Runan's Hurricane, so we're kind of getting there in terms of the build. I'm at 9k gold, second most gold in the game after Yasuo. Yasuo is incredibly fed as well. And of course we did get that shutdown on Yasuo, which is amazing for us. Dragon is now up, and the enemy team is obviously in the area. Dragon's pretty much gone at this point, so no real point doing anything here. Dodging the Thresh hook, as I mentioned. Have to be very cautious of that. Karma blind ults into nothing. And here enemy team looks like they're really looking for a fight. So my whole team is here, so is the entire enemy team. But me and Master Yi are kind of just wanting to take the red buff here. Yasuo ends up going in here. Wind Wall blocks off my damage. I end up hopping the wall here for the ulti onto basically the entire enemy team right here. Graves runs away, and here with the help of the Lulu ult, I survive for really long. And I end up surviving, the whole fight as well, and picking up a double kill. And yeah, so here my team is gonna push down mid just a little bit. I'm just gonna take the red buff for myself, and just gonna continue on farming. My team can probably take the mid tower without me, and yeah, so after this we can either go back to buy, or we can rotate over to bot and pick up this bot wave, which is exactly what we're gonna do, because the whole enemy team is still dead, and if they were alive they would go stop my team instead of trying to stop me. Now I still have the Herald, so I'm thinking that this is a possible Herald play because my team is kind of like distracting them mid, so here I can push in on bot and use the Herald to try to make a play. However, unfortunately for me, Yasuo and Thresh actually do come here, so I'm gonna have to hop the wall with the help of my E. And I'm gonna have to continue running away because I don't want to 1v1 the Yasuo. Lulu comes in with the ult onto Master Yi, and ends up that we just want to disengage because we haven't really bought items yet after that last fight. However, the enemy team kind of not really allowing us to do that. Master Yi tries to go in, gets the kill on Thresh but dies for it, which is not a good trade. Yasuo flashes and goes in. I'm ulting, and I realize that we're gonna die here, so I'm just trying to trade kills. I end up somehow trading 2 kills before I die, and we basically end up killing everybody aside from the Jin, who flashes the Dragon Pit into our side of the jungle instead. There he is. Pretty much no escape for him. He ends up nearly trading the kill onto the Lulu, but thankfully Karma gets there in time to finish off the kill. In the meanwhile, the Wukong, who wasn't even in the fight, is actually split pushing the top lane and is actually picking up this tower. So so far everything is kind of just going well, kind of just going our way. And yeah, so we did die there, but we did basically kill the entire enemy team down with us, and that pretty much went fine. Now my team is like all really fed. We have 3 people at 11k gold, me, Master Yi, and Karma, same as like the Yasuo. So my team is doing really well, and we're still continuing on to farm the Krugs. Also gonna pick up the blue buff. Zeri does very well with double buffs because she does use up a lot of mana as well, so you ideally want to get the blue buff as well. Of course, sometimes your mage does need it, so you may not always want to take the blue buff. Here Yasuo uses the wind wall, so no wind wall for him for the next while. Here Master Yi goes to ham and kind of just straight up goes in. And here we're just blasting down the Garen, GA removed. And Thresh puts down the box to try to protect his Garen. Garen takes the lantern and can't get hooked by Thresh, I believe, for the first time of the game, aside from the time that I just flew over the wall right into his face. Here Graves tries to come in from the flank, but I was paying attention. Using my ghost, I'm able to pretty much just run away. Again, here Yasuo is on the chase. So here I'm using my Q to slow him down, using my W to slow him down as well, and me and Lulu should be able to escape without any issue. Here I'm taking the fruit so we can possibly turn back around. Yasuo has his tornado though, so we want to be careful. Lulu nearly walks into it. But here we're just lifestealing off the minions, and Karma is coming down and we are grouping up. It's only the Yasuo, Garrett, actually it's pretty much everybody on any team is alive at the moment because the fight is kind of like so long that people have started respawning. But here you can see that there is now a lot of them, so we don't really want to take a fight here anymore. Red buff again is up, so I'm just gonna go over here and take the red buff. In the meantime, I'm farming the raptors at the same time as taking the red buff, and here another fight starts to break out. Karma and Lulu caught in the crosshairs. Lulu goes down instantly, and here I'm gonna have to run away because pretty much my whole team just died right there. The Wukong is defending top, and the situation just got really messy really fast. So here I complete my IE, and yeah, so this is a very sticky situation because the enemy team has waves and they can push down our towers and push all the way to the inhibitor, and yeah, it's just kind of bad. So here I'm trying my best to defend the inhibitor with the help of Wukong. Wukong goes in with the ulti. I'm like blinded here by the grave sting in case you guys can see, but I go into the ult, get hooked by Thresh because I can't see where he I can't even see that he's trying to hook me because of the Graves smoke screen, but we end up delaying enough time that the minions on the enemy team are all dead, and our team is actually respawning. Like the three of them died at the same time, so they're all respawning together, and we are somehow able to actually hang onto the mid inhibitor, which is pretty miraculous. And we're also going to be able to hang onto the bot inhibitor, like you guys can see here. So yeah, I have no idea how that happened, but we do end up protecting inhibitors. However, if you recall, enemy team already got the first two dragons, and this basically gives the enemy team a free third dragon. Obviously, you know, we cannot contest. Not even sure why my team tried to go there. Karma dies for free, and yeah, it's again a really bad situation because we got a dead Karma and the enemy team has a triple dragon win condition completed. So it's gonna be quite an exciting game. This one, the whole game is like really even. And yeah, it's just pretty fun, exciting game, both to play and to watch. Okay, so here, pretty much nothing much is really happening. We're just trying to farm, just trying to get waves, etc. We were thinking that they might be on the Baron, but they actually were not. Garen is here trying to steal blue buff. Master Yi tries to chase him down, but I'm not following him because I don't know where the enemy team is, and as I expected, Master Yi ends up running into 3 people. I believe it's Jhin, Garen, and Thresh. Like, as he's chasing Garen, he ran into Jhin and Thresh, I believe, so he just ends up dying, so that's kind of bad. Here, Thresh is looking for me, but I'm just gonna run away. And here I'm gonna run around to join my team. No smoke screen from Graves anymore, which kind of screwed up 2 of the fights that I had with him. So here, enemy team with triple dragon tries to go in. Here I get off the ult onto multiple people, and here I'm just blasting whoever I can. I am already at the power spike of 3 items. Here you can see the insane Zeri damage. However, the issue here is that Thresh has Twin Guard proc, and you guys can see that like he has Twin Guard and he has War Monks, and I'm really just not killing him. Look at this. Like, I'm just straight up not killing him. And this gives enough time for his team to come and back him up, which a fight that started out really good ends up in kind of a disaster. I'm also out of mana here, so it pretty much just becomes a disaster, and Stasis just to buy a little bit more time, but you know, I basically still end up dying. Master Yi comes in. I thought Master Yi might be able to clean up this fight. He focuses the Garen though, probably not the best target. Now he goes for like the Thresh and the Jhin, gets the kill on the Thresh, tries to go for like the Jhin and the Yasuo, but Yasuo at this point also has insane attack speed at this point with his stacked lethal tempo, and because of that, we basically end up more or less losing the fight. Really hard to fight against triple dragon, of course. And here Wukong and Karma are of course defending. Now I'm 10, 4, and 11 with the triple crit items and IE already, so this is where I am really strong. Of course, I need to build an LDR to kind of counter the Thresh, especially, and even the Garen, who's now starting to get tanky as well. But Garen thankfully does not yet have the Amaranth Twin Guard, but Thresh does, so Thresh is super duper tanky. And here you can see I pick up a longsword building towards the last Whisper, and I'm heading to bot, quickly clear out this wave. But the issue is that, you know, as a late game ADC, you can't be separate with your team too much. If not, like the Baron is up, like the enemy team could easily go for Baron. Lulu goes down, which is kind of bad. And here I'm just trying to blast whoever I can, this being the Garen here. Like, I'm not doing too much damage to him, but I slowly am kind of chunking him out. Master Yi managed just to escape with the help of the Sterix prop. And here, yeah, we're just trying to clear the wave, trying to salvage the situation. Yasuo goes in, but I exhaust him, get the root. I'm gonna go in with the ulti, go past the wind wall, and I'm just trying to blast him while I can, sidestep the Thresh hook, and just quickly clear the minions. And yeah, so here I'm gonna go back, pick up the last Whisper so I can actually do damage against Thresh and Garen. And now is gonna be the interesting fight where Baron is up and Elder Dragon is coming up. And now I have no idea if the enemy team is on Baron. I semi-suspect that they might be on Baron. But turns out, like, looks like they are because they're like zoning us away, but you know, when we get there, it turns out that they're actually not. Here I'm clearing up mid wave so we don't get backdoored through mid as we are trying to contest either Baron or Dragon. Looks like the enemy team is all pulling off from the Baron, as you guys can see from the mini map. And it looks like they're instead going for the Dragon. So here again, trying to clear out mid wave so we don't just get randomly backdoored. And here we're going to rotate over to the Dragon. Technically, the way I'm walking here is really unsafe. I should have gone the other way, but thankfully I'm not punished. So here we have the control ward into the pit to kind of check out what's really going on there, which is nothing too much at this point. The Dragon is going getting bursted down. I have no idea why we're chasing for this fight here when we should be trying to secure the Elder Dragon. I nearly steal the Elder Dragon because the smite from the enemy Graves was not very good, but in the end, we end up basically becoming in a big team fight. I get the kill on Yasuo and Jhin, but I end up dying to the Elder buff in the end. But somehow, despite the enemy team having Elder buff and triple Dragon, we actually end up trading positively. We traded 3 for 4, and now Wukong and Lulu are still alive, whereas it's only Garen alive for the enemy team, and only Garen has the Elder buff remaining because we killed the rest of the enemy team, so they don't have the Elder buff anymore. So this is a pretty good situation, all things considered, because they did get the Elder, but we were able to remove it from all of them basically and win the fight. Aside from the Garen, although that is kind of a concern because Garen can just run up and easily apply the Elder buff onto everybody. But anyways, as you guys can see here, the next objective on the map is obviously Baron, and the enemy team with with one Elder, I guess you could say, would still be really interested to try to secure Baron. And yeah, they do still have triple Dragon, so they are still really strong. So me and Wukong trying to take the red buff together. Not Wukong, me and Master Yi trying to take the red buff together here. We do secure the red buff. And here I was going to try to clear bot wave, but I don't want to split up from my team. I want to try to stay grouped because I expect the fight to, sort of happen. Poking with my W. Wukong tries to get a catch onto Graves, doesn't really work. We still have the GA from Garen and still up. Here Garen tries to go in, gets polymorphed, and takes a lot of damage. Here I get the ult onto the Thresh, and then I kill Thresh, and I'm going for Garen next. Garen goes down. And here I'm trying to go for like the rest of them, like Graves, Jhin, etc. So here we basically end up just, through the power of Zeri full build, with of course the LDR. Like, look at how much damage I do to Thresh and Garen now that I have LDR. Like, it just changes the whole complexion of the game. And you guys see, by the way, look at bot wave. Like, that's why I wanted to clear bot wave, because it's gonna amass to that kind of thing. And if we have a fight when that thing is there, and we lose the fight, we basically instantly lose the game. But thankfully we won the fight, so that wave doesn't actually matter anymore. And here we just pick up the victory for this game. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the game and see how Ghost is really good on Zeri. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, guys, and goodbye.